Welcome, Coaches Roundtable. I'm Ed Codi. To my right, the Swami, George Abraham. To my left, the Tiger, Albert Campman. Let's go to Spotlight. Congratulations to the BC3 women's volleyball team. Undefeated, 13-0 regular season, and their sixth straight Western Pennsylvania Collegiate Conference Championship. First undefeated season for Coach Rob Snyder in his 22 years. He now has over 400 career wins. Next up, the team goes for its third straight Division III Region 20 Championship. Congratulations to North Catholic golfers. They are the WPIAL 2A champs. And the Knock girls tennis team defeated South Park 4-1 in the semifinals. They advanced for the fifth straight year to the championship. And for the fifth straight year, they will take on Sewickley Academy. What a run they've had.
Yeah, we see Sewickley every year. They're there constantly. Knock is really a tribute to the public schools.
What a rivalry this is between these two. High school football top rushers: Isaiah Ashbacher, Beaver Falls, 200 yards. Maddox Allen, Slippery Rock High School, 186. Brock Borgo, Hampton, 173. Evan Wright of Mars, 136. Kyle Topinski of North Catholic, 134. 214 total yards. We will see him Friday night when North Catholic travels to Freeport for a big game, the Allegheny 7 Conference Championship. Armstrong will be there, the Coaches Roundtable, to bring you that game, tape delay. Luke Gehring, Karn City, 106 yards. Mike Card, Union AC Valley, 104. Ryan Montgomery, Slippery Rock High School, 100. Passing, Sean O'Shea of Seneca Valley, 227 yards. Not bad. He was subbing for the injured Graham Hancock's. Jared Brickner, Beaver Falls, 220. Joey Prentice, North Catholic, 202. Raphael Bartley of Mars, 181. Logan Kushner of North Allegheny, 169. Max Schnorr, Butler, 128. And Dawson Kemper of Union AC Valley, 121. Receiving, Noah Nesselrod, Mars, 10 for 111 yards. Brandon Ross of Seneca Valley, 5 for 122. Luke Lawson, Seneca Valley, 5 for 80. Lance Slater of Butler, 4 for 88. Kyle Topinski of North Catholic, 4 for 80. And Mackay Clark of Beaver Falls, 4 for 80. Our football power rankings in 6A at the top, undefeated. Mount Lebanon, followed by Central Catholic, Seneca Valley, North Allegheny, and Canon-Mac. The big game this week is Seneca Valley at Mount Lebanon. In 5A, this has been a topsy-turvy, in-and-out teams. I don't know, maybe this year I've had 9 or 10 teams ranked moving in and out. Moon remains undefeated, 8-0. Last two wins, 29-26, 16-13. I'm rooting for them. They're going for their first undefeated regular season in school history. Penn Trafford, number 2. Gateway back in there at 3. North Hills back there in there at number 4 after a 13-7 upset of Pine Richland, stopping Pine's 4-game winning streak, winning the game on a fourth quarter goal line stand. And Penn Hill's back in there at number 5 as we talk, 4-3. They're a hot team right now. They've won 3 in a row. I'm looking at this, and then I see Erie Cathedral Prep. They're 6-1. They're ranked 4th in the state in 5A. Is there anyone out of WPL 5A that could beat Cathedral Prep?
It'll be an upset, but they can do it.
They can do it.
It's not. Prep's not. They're not devastating good. They're, sometimes you have no chance.
Well, Pine murdered him in that title game last year.
Yeah. So prep is beatable.
I would say 2 or 3 of them could beat him.
Yeah, Penn Hill's getting hot. Penn Trafford's very good. They're
I said
6-2.
could. I didn't say would.
Yeah. Well, they had a big game against Butler, beating Butler 58-7. They rushed for 422 yards in that win. In 4A, Bell Vernon remains undefeated at the top, followed by Thomas Jefferson, undefeated Hampton, Eloquip, and McKeesport. And the big game this week is Thomas Jefferson at McKeesport. That is always a really good game.
That league, Bell Vernon.
Oh, it's
Thomas
tremendous.
Jefferson, McKeesport.
And Hampton has two running backs closing in on 1,000 yards rushing for the season.
And the one we didn't mention, Eloquip.
Yeah, Eloquip. We'll never count them out.
No.
In 3A, it's Central Valley, North Catholic, Avonworth, Elizabeth Forward, and Slippery Rock High School. North Catholic gets Freeport, as we said. And then in 2A, they're all undefeated. Stowe Rock, Sarah Catholic, Washington, Laurel, Still Valley, and Westinghouse. And in 1A, it's Clareton, Bishop Canevin, Cornell, Carmichael's, Rochester, and Union AC.
Could any one of the double A's beat Farrell?
No.
Stowe Rock, Sarah Catholic, Washington,
No.
Laurel.
None of them.
You don't think Laurel can?
No, none of them. None
Okay.
of them close to Farrell.
All right.
Not even a thought. Like this Farrell team's like the team three years ago.
That went undefeated and won the state.
Yes.
Yeah.
Our stories of the week. Let's start with college football. I didn't see this coming. It's a shocker. IUP 48, Slippery Rock 21. Not that IUP beat them, but beat them convincingly by 27 points. Slippery Rock's 19 straight PSAC wins snapped. IUP held the Rock to just 70 yards rushing, intercepted 3 passes from quarterback Andrew Kessler. IUP led 24-7 at the half. They really stunned the Rock. The Rock's 6-1 now, 3-1 in conference play. They're at Mercyhurst. Well, IUP and Kell, they meet this Saturday for a showdown game. The Rock has to root for Kell to beat IUP, and then when Kell comes to the Rock November the 6th, they have to beat Kell to force it into a 3-way tie.
Yeah, those 3 teams all year we thought those victories by Slippery Rock over those lousy teams. You know, you get a little you get confidence. You think, no. There's IUP's waiting for them every year. Remember we went to do that game, George, and that's such a rivalry. That is such a rivalry. That's much bigger than any people know.
I think the Rock had won 5 straight against IUP, which is unusual in that series.
I had told him, I talked to both you guys off air. They looked a little sour, like the one game they didn't score many, the one game they didn't run for much. And I asked Eddie, I said, is there anyone on that staff that would say, hey, Coach, we're not where we should be? And I was hoping there would be, because I won't say I saw this coming, but I was afraid from the scores that they weren't playing as well as their ratings said they would play.
They were number 6, and you're absolutely right. The difference between this team and that 13-1 team in 2019, that team could run the ball and run the ball in the red zone. This team is not a good running team.
Well, I'll add this to it. They had a running quarterback, too, who could take off with the ball and get first down.
Yeah, Roland Rivers.
Kessler throw.
Yeah.
There's a major difference.
No,
And you see it every Saturday and Sunday now. The running quarterbacks cause the defense.
And they
so
probably
many
averaged back in 2009, I just off the top of my head, 220, 230 yards a game rushing. And now they're I'm going to say they're less than 100 yards a game rushing.
Yes, I've heard,
it's all the pressure on the quarterback.
I've heard great praise about Kessler throwing the football. But I have to admit, if I was coaching football, my first look would be a guy
Connor Murray
that can run and throw.
Yeah.
I mean, I try to recruit it every year. Because remember, you get to choose.
The dual threat.
That's who I get. The dual threat, I'd go after that quarterback every time over somebody like John Elway. I mean, John Elway is a throwing machine, but I want somebody like Murray today.
Third and eight.
He's taking over first down.
go ahead.
Yes.
Grove City rolls along 41-29 over St. Vincent. Running back Clayton Parrish had 143 yards rushing, and wide receiver Codi Gustafson. This kid has to hold all the receiving records there. 8 for 157 yards and 2 touchdowns. Grove City now 6-1. Only the 1-point loss to Westminster.
Yeah, they got to get W&J. Someone's got to get W&J. It's that simple. And they look like they have the best chance from looking at the scores. You would have thought Westminster, they tripped up down at CMU.
CMU. Yes.
I'm really impressed with Grove City.
Very much.
I'm talking about
a 1-point loss at Westminster.
I truly believe they can beat W&J. And that's telling you something.
Hey, the kid, that
Yes.
kid, he's really good. He's a Shippensburg. He could have played at Ship. Would you say, Al?
Oh, yeah, I think so. Oh, Ship for sure he could.
Ship's really good.
Well, Ship's real great this year.
One loss.
So he couldn't play there then? No. There's such a – wait, something else saying. He might be a great Division III player, but there's such a difference between the PSAC and the PAC. I mean, and
yes.
you know what I'm saying?
No wonder they're getting paid.
Absolutely. Well, Pitt 28, Virginia Tech 7, Pat Narduzzi. Did you get your respect? He played the no respect card before the game. Now Pitt ranked number 23. Kenny Pickett didn't have one of his best games, but he was solid. 22-37, 203 yards, 3 touchdowns. Running back Israel Abanaconda had 140 yards. This offensive line headed by Butler's Jake Crato, has really been solid. They did a great job blocking against Virginia Tech. So it brings up the next one, Saturday, 3:30 at Hines versus Clemson. Should be a crowd of 50,000. Clemson ranked number 24. I don't see them as a top 25 team. They have the ACC's worst offense, 20 points a game, but they have one of the country's best defenses, only 12 points a game. Their last 3 games against Pitt, they have averaged 45 points and 550 yards a game. I don't see that happening
Not
now.
with ukulele at quarterback.
Yeah.
No, it's
What?
not happening.
George, I watched the game. He couldn't hit the side of a fire truck with some of his throws. What has happened to him? How did he ever get labeled a 4-star quarterback?
Well, his confidence is really bad right now. And when you're looking at the defense rushing you, you're done. But I'm going to say this, and I'm going to say it out loud. Here, Pickett plays poorly in this game. So he did. I watched the Pitt game. He stunk the joint out. He just got lucky. He completed some passes. He threw the ball on the ground, threw the missed receivers. They're going to lose to Clemson if he plays that bad. And Clemson's not good. And
No,
Clemson,
but
Pitt,
defensively, they'll give you trouble.
No. Clemson will pick up 2 of his passes for touchdowns.
Well,
I mean,
yeah.
He was so far off in that game. And remember, I know I've been forever.
Oh, no.
I've raved about Pickett, but he was really lousy.
He didn't
on
have.
Saturday.
He
Was
didn't have
lousy.
which is going to happen from time to time. But Clemson's quarterback, I just watched, a 17-14 win over Syracuse. I know there were receivers open. He couldn't get him the ball. You can't tell me Clemson doesn't have receivers.
They have receivers.
But,
Say this happened to him with Hackenberg. Remember Hackenberg for Penn State? When you're looking at
Yes,
the rush,
right.
When you're
Just
looking
went
down
downhill.
and you're not seeing
Yeah.
things.
Another thing, the Dino Babers playing for that field goal again from 47 yards. They
Yeah.
act like it's a chip shot.
So many
they
passes.
act like, I get kicking it. I get it. But try to score first.
Well, and you're right. And Clemson's playing a different game. They're going to play that somewhat conservative game.
Oh, very conservative.
Rely on their kicker.
Yeah.
And this Pitt's favored by 3.5, which Clemson probably loves. I look, if Pitt's going to win this game, I see it as like a 20-16 game. I don't see a lot of scoring.
Well, that's what Clemson wants to play. And
Yes.
if the game gets any higher, Pitt will win the game for sure. Clemson cannot score a lot of points.
Well,
They've proven it all year.
Here's the other thing. What does Georgia average? About 40 points a game, and Clemson held them to 10.
Yeah.
And Georgia could not run the ball on Clemson.
And that's what
So
I'm
what's
saying.
that tell you?
Clemson's a scary team because of their defense. People just think they're lousy. They're just lousy. Yeah, they're lousy. Offensive.
They're lousy from what we expect. They've
Yeah,
been
they're-
70,
yeah,
79
you're
and
expecting
7 over the
49
years.
points a game. You're not getting it.
Yeah, they've won 79
No one
out of their
expected
last
this.
86 games. So
Yeah.
this will be an interesting game. I'll be disappointed if there's not a crowd there of at least
There should be.
50,000.
There should be.
But
Are you going down, Eddie?
yeah, 3
Okay.
years ago, when Miami came in, Mark Richt, they were 9-0, number 2 in the country on a beautiful fall day. There was 37,000 there. That was disappointing to see that kind of crowd, to see the number 2 team in the country.
Yeah, let's hope. Let's hope there's a big crowd.
I hope these Pitt players deserve it. They played well. And speaking of Pickett and Heisman, how much will the schedule hurt him, those games against UMass and New Hampshire?
Yeah, he's not in the running. As good as a player he is, there's no chance for him.
But they said he's been being considered.
Yeah, I know that. They said
But I'm
that.
saying,
Yeah, I
let's say
think-
he is. Does that schedule hurt him?
I don't think so. They look at stats. Their stat.
Hey,
Their
20
stat
touchdowns,
people.
1 interception
Yeah.
stands out.
Yes. Well, his stock has improved with the NFL scouts.
We said that a long
Yeah.
time ago.
They're late
He's
to
one
the
of the
party.
top 4 quarterbacks.
They're late to the party yet.
Yes.
I told you this. I have a buddy who's an NFL agent, and he came in to look at him, and Steinberg was already there.
Can
So
he
he's
can
not
he
a
can he
secret.
go in the middle of the late second round?
I think the
Maybe
Steelers
early
are going
third.
to. I think they're
I think
gonna
third
grab
round. That
it.
third round pick. I think he's going to be a third rounder.
Yeah, I do too.
He's good.
Well, this college merry-go-round, number 2 Iowa loses to Purdue 24-7, and Iowa, they look so slow to me. I don't know, maybe that's because how good Purdue played defense, but Purdue's quarterback scorched them for 374 yards passing, and they had no answer for wide receiver David Bell. What did he catch, 8 or 10 for 240 yards? The biggest win for Purdue since they upset number 2 Notre Dame back in 1974. Now Purdue, 4-2, they won 3 in a row.
David Bell was a pro.
Oh,
Sometimes
good.
there's guys you don't see around the country a lot, and you don't know about them. The NFL knows about David Bell. He will go in the top 40 picks in the draft, no question.
Iowa too. They had been living the life. 5 interceptions against Maryland.
Yeah.
Penn State turned the ball over. Penn State couldn't get the snap count. They didn't get any gifts the other day, and their offense didn't generate.
And it's funny, the perception how slow they looked on offense because they were just getting stuffed there at the line of scrimmage. Hey, one of the interesting things here, someone in the stands at Iowa threw a cold can of beer, full beer, down at the Purdue bench. It was picked up by Purdue offensive lineman David Long, who snapped it open and drank it on the sideline. I don't know if they went over and said, "Are you
He was
old enough to
celebrating, huh?
drink?"
He was already celebrating.
I've never heard of anything
That's
like
funny.
that.
Yeah, you could hurt
Bizarre.
somebody.
But
That's
you know,
no.
it's dangerous though. Thank
No,
God it didn't.
no,
It
it's
had struck
no.
someone in the head, would have been a serious injury.
No, that they didn't throw in golf balls at Lane Kiffin. I'm no Lane Kiffin fan, but
No,
No.
that's entirely
No.
that is so dangerous. But you got idiots like the fan ran out in the field on the Steeler game. Where's Mike Curtis, who that time for the Colts, he decked that fan. Didn't James Harrison do that too?
oh, he
to a
pinned
fan.
that guy. to the
Alcohol.
ground.
That alcohol games makes you somebody. who's really
Well,
not,
it's dangerous. You don't know if the person runs out in the field and has a
Knife.
weapon.
No.
Yes.
How about that girl was playing tennis? The guy come out and stabbed her.
Yes.
Was it Steffi Graf? You don't
Yes.
know he's coming out
Yes.
to shake your hand or shoot you.
LSU 49, Florida 42, and after the game, LSU tells Ed Ogeron goodbye after this season, 2019 national champs. Here's what I've heard that the players and assistant coaches, they have a lack of trust in Ogeron. He's gone through some kind of, there's just been a disconnect between him and the assistants and the players. So much for winning a national championship 2 years ago in the SEC. Don't buy a home when you're the head coach. You should rent one.
Well, he's truly a guy that success went to his head and has lost control of himself, not the team. When you lose control of yourself, throwing things in the office, hollering at secretaries,
Right.
He's thinking it's him, and immediately he found out it wasn't him.
I heard the assistant coaches went to the AD and said that's enough.
The team definitely did.
The team did. I know the players.
team did.
See, I
Players
don't think
reps,
any
yes.
of that.
Huh?
9-8 is all it comes down to. If he was 17-0 since
no
George,
question.
he could walk around naked.
The
and they'd
athletic
say, you know,
director
he looks
said,
good naked.
yes, the athletic director said the last 2 years are not up to their standards. They're
Well, they
not
weren't.
competing for championships.
No, but he says that. But he's getting $17 million to go away.
Is that what he gets?
Yeah.
In the last 2 years, he's lost 8 games.
9-8.
Okay, there you go. That's the reason why. Say no more. Who's up next for that job? Here's my early pick. It's going to be Alabama offensive coordinator Bill O'Brien, who was the head coach of Penn State, Houston, ties with Bill Belichick, friends with Saban, and so on and so forth. I think LSU might look at him.
That's been the tree. That's
That's been the tree. It's been the way it's
They're
going,
coming
right?
north.
You
No.
come out of Alabama.
You don't like it.
You come out of Alabama
No,
and
that
get this
Joe
job.
Moorhead. No, they're not going north. If you don't have a double first name like Bobby Lee,
Well,
Jim
Bill
Ball.
O'Brien didn't do a bad job at Penn
I didn't
State when he
say-
took
no.
over.
But it's Jimbo Fisher if it's anybody. That's who they want. They wanted him last time.
I don't think he's leaving Texas A&M to
No,
go
he won't
there.
be. That A&M has that power, that money down
You
there.
don't think LSU has any money?
Oh, they do, but
Oh, yeah.
I'll be shocked if he. Let's put it. I'll be shocked.
I
if
think
they
you'll
do.
think he can get better players.
Maybe. You never know college football. You never know.
No,
Hey,
I just think they go to these northern guys like Moorhead, and they don't give him a chance. Like this guy from Boise, he has no chance down there.
hey, say what you want. Lane Kiffin's doing a terrific job at
They're doing
Mississippi.
well.
What are they? 5-1 now? 6-1?
Absolutely.
Our top 10: Georgia 7-0, 30-13 over Kentucky, followed by I have Oklahoma there number 2, Cincy number 3. They take on Navy. Alabama back in there at number 4 with a rout of Mississippi State. Look out. Tennessee's next. Ohio State 5th. Michigan 6th. Michigan State 7th. They're off this week. Next, they have Michigan on the 30th. Oklahoma State in at number 8. Penn State 9th. Oregon 10th. Oregon's got a tough one this week against 5-2 UCLA.
Yeah, we'll be tough. Hey, by the way, so the people know, the Pitt Miami game is noon.
Yeah, Pitt Miami in 2
Yeah.
weeks is at noon. This game Saturday with Clemson's 3:30.
It must be national game, huh?
Hey, salute to Wake Forest. I like to see those teams that have they're 6-0 for the first time since 1944. And I watched North Carolina State. They're 6-1. Demolish Boston College 33-7. They beat Clemson in double overtime 27-21. They got some headhunters on defense, North Carolina State.
Well, there's the example I'm talking about.
No one's talking about them.
But I'm saying Clemson's no good. They're saying
Yeah, overtime.
and NC State that
Right.
and NC State was crazed for that game.
Yeah.
You understand? Yeah, don't
They
count
laid
Clemson
an
out.
egg at Mississippi State. Other than that,
Yeah.
You know what I was just thinking? Wake Forest. They better be careful at Army this week.
Oh, absolutely.
You always have to be careful. Army.
Absolutely.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
When I look at a team, I like to look and see how aggressive they are in defense and their offensive line. And North Carolina State, they passed that test for me.
Yeah, and so does Wake Forest. Both those teams, and Wake Forest has the formula that I like.
They got offensive
They
players.
play veterans. They redshirt the whole team every
You
year.
got a quarterback they
And
like.
they let them. They come. And they stay at Wake Forest.
Yeah.
It's one of the schools that
Yeah.
you don't leave early. He's figured out a formula.
And they got a quarterback that you like.
Oh yes,
It's about the smallest D1 school there is.
it is little.
Yeah.
It is little.
All right, let's go to the NFL. The Steelers 23, Seattle 20 in overtime. Chris Boswell's 37-yard field goal after a strip sack by of quarterback Geno Smith by Watt, and the fumble recovered by Devin Bush set up the win. When I watched the beginning of this game was 14-0, I thought this is going to be a ride. This could be a 27-0 shutout win. And then just like with Denver, second half, I don't know what happens. Seattle had 3 long scoring drives with 2 drives of over 70 yards. And they ran the ball down the Steelers' throat. This is 3 straight games teams have been able to run the ball against the Steelers, especially in the second half. And Geno Smith, he for his first start in 4 years, I give him credit. 23 of 32, 209 yards. He had a higher quarterback rating than Ben.
You watch the game. The Steelers have decided, and you got either credit or not credit. They're playing 6 defensive backs, and they're saying you're not going to beat us with the pass. And if you're going to beat us, you're going to beat us with the run. I think that formula is better than NFL. I mean, I'd rather see teams run the football than throw it all over the field. Metcalf and Lockett are out of the game. I mean, these are 2 guys that are 2 of the best receivers in football. That's the formula they've come up with. I don't know if it's going to work because they're trying to hide a lot of deficiencies in their
When
secondary.
you bring that up, deficiencies, let me ask you guys. When you give them the eye test, do you see them as a playoff team?
No, I do.
I
not.
don't.
No.
No, but I was telling Al, they got the Bears in Detroit coming in. I know they can beat them. I don't say they will.
They have.
Well,
they have.
can,
To
yeah.
me, the playoff team, they have to win when they go to Cincinnati. They have to beat the Browns twice and split with Baltimore.
Yeah, it's tough.
They're not
It's
beating
tough.
the Browns.
You know, it's tough. Those teams are good teams.
No, well then they're not. If
Yeah.
your criteria is beating the Browns twice and split with Baltimore, I'll say no.
Najee Harris had 83 yards rushing, but his average was around 3.4. I mean, this kid is so tough. I really like but he's taken a beating. How many times he get popped before he even got to the line of scrimmage? Again, week after week. I don't know how he's going to hold up through 17 games.
Yeah, I like the Ballage backup. The Ballage guy a lot. He runs hard. I really do.
Yeah, he does.
So he's in the game. I you guys have said it many years here. I give Harris about 2 series off every game.
Absolutely. A Seattle linebacker, the scary part of the game, Darrell Taylor. Thank God he's good. Everything is looking good.
Yeah.
That was scary. When you see both teams out on the field,
Tell you what,
know
though,
there's a concern.
Pete Carroll said he wanted to move, and they were so, which they have
Paranoid
to
about
be.
that, yes.
They cut all this. He said he could move, but they were so, certain to keep him still that
Right.
it made the people think it was worse.
When he went down, for whatever reason, I don't think it was intentional. The Steeler fans started to do the wave, and the Steeler players turned around and told him.
That's
To
good.
their credit, told him to
Yes.
knock
Right.
it off. But I don't think they realized the
No,
seriousness
no.
of the injury there. Hey, the call at the end of the game with DK Metcalf. One thing I'm wondering, he's a veteran player. Why doesn't he get out of
Why didn't he just
bounds?
walk?
That's what George
Yeah,
said.
one step he gets out of bounds.
What is with these guys?
Yeah.
Like I told Al the other day, remember the old days 4th down interception? You knocked it down. It was ingrained in you.
Yes.
Oh, they're no.
That-
They want that interception.
I don't know. That was a strange. It put 3 seconds back on the clock and led to the tying field goal to send it into overtime.
Well, the bottom line of the whole thing has been my punch all year. The referees are having the worst year ever in
Oh, but
pro
this has
football.
been going on for years.
But this year's unbelievable. There's
well-
so many flags. You can't. I
Is
can't
there
take
ever a
it.
kickoff return
Never.
or a punt return
Never.
Or a big play.
without
Never.
this?
They ought to
Without
just put
this.
it at 25. I said Pittsburgh. Have they ever started past the 20? Because if they do bring it out, it's half the distance.
the referees.
I
are
don't even know.
taking over the
I
game.
just have to tell the team if the ball's anywhere near,
Yep.
just let it go. Don't even return it.
move
All
it
right,
out.
Cleveland comes up. The Steelers have a bye week. Then they have Cleveland. Cleveland had 2 great defensive games where they gave up 13 points, 1 touchdown. Last 2 games they've given up 86. They got torched by Arizona, 37-14. Chubb's hurt. Kareem Hunt's going to be out for a couple of weeks. The starting linebacker, Koromoa, he's going to be out for several weeks. After the 3-1 start, they're now 3-3. They don't have that playoff look to me anymore.
Not for long. It's the NFL. That's what it stands
Yeah.
for with me. You understand? Every week you look at the games thinking, this can't happen. Detroit had Baltimore beat the whole game. That's all you got to know. Tennessee beat Buffalo last night. Somebody the week before, Tennessee was losing to somebody.
And when you mention
it's
Baltimore,
NFL.
that Baltimore game, that comeback against Indy, is that the type of game to spike your team on a run? Look what they did. They demolished the Chargers 34-6,
It's the NFL.
ran for almost 200 yards.
The Chargers look like unbeatable. They make them
Yeah.
a kill.
It's funny. They talk about body clock going west-east. The Rams beat the Giants 41-3. It didn't seem to matter.
No.
It's the talent. But you guys, every week you
It's
have to be
NFL.
ready to go. And I'll say this, Mayfield's hurt. I don't care. I watch their games.
Your bad left
Mayfield
shoulder.
is hurt.
You can't.
I'm telling
and I
you,
heard
sir.
these guys on ESPN ripping him. I'm saying he's 0-3. What's he done? He's been thrown for 300 yards a game. The defense has killed them. I don't know what's happened. They put a lot of money in the defense. It's not working out. They need to win Thursday night against Denver, and then they have time off to get ready for the Steelers. Cincy, are they for real? 4-2?
I said this on the show before the season started. That'd be
Burrow 3
that'd be the most improved team in football, and they are.
And their defense.
No, their defense has been good. They always had good defense.
Wait a minute, though. I was watching.
They can be beaten
last
every week,
week.
too, though.
The guy on one of the talk shows said that Burrow's better than Jackson. No.
No.
Jeez.
Let's
No,
be-
no,
Come
no,
on now.
no.
You're a journalist.
No.
At least be fair.
Absolutely. Hey, everyone's talking. I heard them saying last week they're not buying Arizona 6-0. I'm buying Arizona. Kyler Murray, he's my early vote for MVP. I know there's Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson, but he has 4 touchdown passes against Cleveland. He leads almost every statistical category for quarterbacks.
He was my favorite player coming to college in the last 10 years. I thought he was a game changer at that position, and he's proven he
Let
is.
me say this.
He's so different.
Your V. Now, if your V's for outstanding or spectacular, I get it. If your V is for valuable, it's Dak. They couldn't win a game last year.
Well, Prescott's having a great year.
Oh,
And
man.
hats off to James Conner. He's been really solid for
Oh,
them.
boy.
He had 16 carries for 71 yards. I really root for this
Well,
kid.
their line's
after
so
all
much
he's been
better.
through.
You understand? In Pittsburgh, I don't care who you can get Jim Brown in there. You're not running for the yards, and they don't block.
And let's finish with the Buffalo, Tennessee. Tennessee wins 34-31 with that monster, Derrick Henry. 76-yard run with 240 pounds. Guys, he's on pace for 450 carries this year. And I think Mike
We don't talk
Vrabel-
about him, do we?
Mike Vrabel, come on, Mike, give this guy a break.
He's not getting any break.
You're beating this guy up. The game ends at the Tennessee 3 on a 4th and 1. Any problem with the call?
Allen has got that first down every time for Buffalo.
He
He's
slipped.
always had. Yeah, he slipped. Yeah,
And there was some penetration, but don't count them out. They're still good. Boy, we got some exciting games coming up. It gets better every week there. Thanks for joining us. We run out of time. We will see you next week.
From high school sports to community events and beyond, you can find all of your favorite local shows on the Armstrong Neighborhood Channel.
Hi, I'm Tricia from the Butler Buzz. You can watch my show or other local programming like Up for Adoption or Hunting Nostalgia, only on the Armstrong Neighborhood Channel.
Check us out right now on Channel 100 or search Armstrong Neighborhood Channel on YouTube for playlists and much more. Spirit, town pride, community. This is the Armstrong Neighborhood Channel.